This isn't showing us.
What I said the other day about you looking like me, that ain't true. You ain't ugly like me. It's just that we both have scars. Unforgiven was directed by Clint Eastwood in 1992. It tells the story of a prostitute who was disfigured in the small town of Big Whiskey, Wyoming. Unsatisfied with the justice that she receives by the sheriff in town, they put out a bounty on the head of the assailant. Word gets around to a young gunslinger who goes hunting for an assassin named William Money. Money at the time is working at a small pig farm with his family. His wife had just recently died of smallpox, and they are basically struggling to survive. Whenever he married his wife, he gave up all of the bad things that he used to do, and she made him turn over a new leaf. And so when this gunslinger shows up, he doesn't necessarily want to go with him. So we see Money evolve from being this repentant man to, throughout the story, you kind of start to wonder if that killer isn't kind of hidden down underneath the surface somewhere. We kind of watch as he evolves from being quiet and subdued. He ends up losing in a fight and being beat up and things like that, to towards the end of the movie, he becomes more the person that we expect to see, the vigilante, because of the death of his friend. And so throughout the course of the movie, this is being drawn back out of him, and you kind of start to wonder if it was ever hidden all along. He begins drinking again, and he finds all of the vices that he, at the beginning of the movie, says are not a part of him anymore. And that's kind of the theme of the entire movie, is man versus himself. We see the theme run along not only with William Money, but with the young gunslinger, Schofield Kid. Whenever he first shows up, he has nicknamed himself this because of the large gun that he carries on his side. And he says that he has killed so many people. Well, as we watch the film, we start to learn that not only has he not killed this many people, these are stories that he's made up about himself, but in actuality, he's halfway blind, and he's never actually killed anybody at any point. Another person that we see is English Bob. English Bob is traveling along with his biographer and telling all of these heroic exploits that he has done throughout his life. And through the course, we also see that he is making up these stories, that actually he was the bad guy. He was the coward in the story, and he took advantage of people that he shouldn't have. The best part of the movie is when William Money's friend dies at the hands of the local sheriff. We see the vigilante come back out of Money, and we have the huge shootout in the local saloon. The cinematography of this movie is very dark and gritty. Most of the scenes are shot either inside of jail cells or in saloons, upstairs and where the prostitutes' quarters are, and so everything is really shadowed and dark and grimy. Even outside is mostly at nighttime, and so we only see like shadows of people, or in the rain we can just see like the top part of their hats and things being illuminated. Occasionally, as they're traveling through the countryside, we get to see the beautiful landscape of the mountains and things like that. The cameraman really liked to do like the big wide angle views of the mountains. Is this movie significant? I would say yes. It kind of took the Western genre, what you expect to see in a Western, damsels in distress and heroes riding off into the sunset, and puts a twist on it. As I was saying before, you kind of get to see the vices and the struggles of the heroes as well as the villains. Nobody is cut and dry, black and white. There's a lot of gray in all of the characters. I would recommend this movie because of it being non-typical. With traditional Westerns, you kind of expect there to be one happy ending. And in this movie, you're kind of left a little dissatisfied in a good way. Whenever the story comes out about Schofield Kid and he finally does make his first kill, at first he's very proud of himself. But then as he goes into experiencing what he actually had done, he becomes so upset, and he starts to cry, and he says, I'm never going to do this again. And with the story with money, he avenges his friend, and then he rides off into the sunset, and we really never hear from the hero again. And so it leaves like this feeling of uncertainty at the end of the movie that you really don't get very often. And even though it's unsatisfying as far as not having a typical conclusion, it's very interesting to watch, and the movie itself is very beautiful and moving. So you're able to kind of explore the scars, just like in the original quote. They both have scars. It's both the good guy and the bad guy and everyone in between.